Hello and welcome to Clean Green Eating.
Plant-based to feel great.
I'm Tracey Spring,
And I'm Tom Bakken.
and today we're going to be demonstrating a wonderful egg alternative.
Yum.
This is a wonderful plant-based version of an omelette, and this recipe can also be used to make a quiche or scrambled eggs. And it's delicious, and you get a full egg experience from this recipe, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. And the odd thing is, it comes from a bean. It comes from
Mung beans.
mung beans. And this is what they look like dried. They're just these little tiny beans. And Tracey, before we came on air, soaked them for how long?
We soaked the mung beans for at least an hour. You can do 1 to 3 hours, and then you drain them, and then you rinse them. And then you put them in, this is a blender. This is the NutriBullet blender.
Okay.
Put that in there.
Red mung bean.
So a mung bean is different than a yellow split pea and different than other kinds of yellow beans. So you have to make sure it's a yellow mung, M-U-N-G, or also can be spelled M-O-O-N-G, bean, and they use them a lot in India. And it has a distinctive flavor and texture that when you prepare it properly, really has the feeling of eating an egg, eating an omelet,
Yes.
or eating a quiche.
Speaking of that, if you want to have the full egg experience, and we do not use this all the time, you can also put a pinch or so of black salt, it's called, as you're preparing the egg mixture. You can use black salt, and what that will give you is kind of a sulfuric taste, which if you think about that, that kind of comes with eggs. You can or cannot use it, or choose to use it or not use it, depending on what you want to do. We choose not to, but
so
you
that
can.
is for the flavor. If you want to make the flavor more like eggs, you can add the black salt. It gives a more sulfur taste when you use that salt.
So I see you have the beans soaked and rinsed.
That's right. So we have the mung beans.
Soaked, drained.
We have soaked them for at least an hour. So this is a key point. You have to soak the beans for 1 to 3 hours before. Just put the dry beans in some water in a bowl. That's all you have to do, and it's
at room temperature.
Room temperature water. And you soak them, let them soak for 1 to 3 hours, and then you drain them and rinse them. And I have put them here in the blender. And now what I'm going to be adding in is a little almond milk. We use this type of almond milk. You can use any kind of plant-based milk that you like. We like to use almond milk. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fill this up to the top of where the mung beans are, just filling it to where the mung beans are. And then I'm going to add just a dash more. And that's how you measure the right amount. And so that's how you measure the right amount. So it's just at the mung beans and a little bit more of the almond milk. And that's how you measure. Then we're simply going to be adding a little bit of turmeric, and that is for color. It's a wonderful golden color for the eggs. And we're going to add a little pinch of salt. So that's all the ingredients that you put in there. We have the soaked mung beans, we have almond milk, turmeric, and salt, and that's all that we put in there.
That's it.
And then we turn on your skillet or a pan on the stove. It's just a flat pan. I'd say it's medium to high. And we get that going, and then you can put in also a little bit of oil. We like to use avocado oil, just a little bit of oil for the bottom so it doesn't stick. And then we can blend up this mixture. Very, very simple mixture. Blend it in. We like to use a NutriBullet blender. Make sure all the little mung beans are all blended up. And then what you have is a mixture that looks a lot like a bunch of eggs that you've whipped up together with a little bit of milk. That's what the mixture looks like. And see, it's even got the color of that and the viscosity or texture of that.
And the color comes from the turmeric, doesn't it?
And the color comes from the turmeric.
Excellent.
Now we're going to just make an omelet by pouring this into the pan and just making like a pancake size circle in the pan. And it looks a lot like a pancake.
Mhm.
You can see a little bit there. And we put that down, and now we can add in whatever vegetables we want on top. Any vegetables that you would normally put in an omelet. So what vegetables have you prepared today?
Well, per your request of your sous chef,
Yes.
I have cut up some leeks really small.
Wonderful.
I've also cut up some red pepper.
Wonderful.
I'll give you these slowly.
So
There's
what
your
I
leeks.
do is just put just a little bit on, just like you would in an omelet.
Mhm.
Just put a little bit
There's
in
some
there.
red pepper.
Red pepper for wonderful color.
Mhm.
Looks so nice. Wonderful.
Some olives.
Olives, we
These are
love
the-
to put
yep,
olives
just black
on.
olives that have been drained and sliced in two.
Yes. Wonderful, beautiful olives.
And then some wonderful baby spinach that's been cut up pretty finely.
And some
Just do a little bit of that.
baby spinach. We just put a little bit on
Yeah, 'cause
that.
we don't want to cover up our other
We don't
veggies.
want to cut up the other ones.
Yeah.
Just a little bit for some more vegetables on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just let it cook. We let it cook. It takes a little bit longer than eggs to cook. It's more like a pancake. So when you're cooking a pancake, you have to make sure that it cooks from the bottom up and it cooks the batter all the way through. This is the same way. You want it to cook. So it cooks the batter a lot of the way through before you flip it over. So you can think of it as cooking a pancake, but it turns out the texture and flavor of an egg.
Awesome. Now we just sit and let it do its
Yes,
thing.
that's right.
And we don't have to do any filling.
That's right. And to let you know that we used 1 cup of dried mung beans
Oh, good. Yes.
to make this recipe today. And it makes approximately 3 omelets. So we each usually have 1.5 omelets. And so it makes the perfect amount for 2 people, we find.
Yeah.
So 1 cup of dried mung beans.
And then what else we find, because it's bean based, which has got, beans have a lot of protein, that it is extremely filling. And sometimes eggs can be filling, but this is filling in a way that is a little bit lighter than eggs, we find. So
Yes, you feel fulfilled, but not heavy.
Yes.
Where sometimes with eggs, you can feel that heaviness
Right.
from all the cholesterol that comes with the eggs.
Yes.
This is cholesterol free and just feels very easy to digest and very light in the body, very healthy. But because it's a bean, it's full of protein. So you're still getting a protein experience from this recipe. All right, well, we will check in.
Good.
Ooh, it's coming out
Oh, this is
perfectly.
going to be great.
Wonderful. So you can start to
Loosen her up.
loosen her up in order to flip her over.
We have
First of all,
show it.
I'll just show it. So this is what it's looking like in the pan.
Mhm.
And what we do is we put the batter in, we put the vegetables on top, we let it cook, and then we flip it over
Yeah, that's the-
and let it cook on the other side. And then if you want to, you can fold it in half like an omelet. So, but you have to cook it flat on both sides first. So now we just flipped it over.
Mhm.
This is what it looks like.
Mhm. Let's leave it
And
on that
we're just
high
gonna let
temperature.
it
Yeah.
cook for a little bit longer. So another thing is that this recipe can be used to make a quiche as well. So if you put this exact same recipe in a pan and put it in the oven, then you can bake it and it makes a quiche, a beautiful quiche. Or if you like, once you put it in the pan, you can move it around and stir it around, and it can make more like a scrambled egg dish. So you can really use this recipe for many different things. And it's a great alternative to eggs. And with all the challenges going on with eggs right now, it's nice to have an alternative that's very healthy and still really delicious. So it does take a few moments to cook, and
But it's worth it.
but it's worth it.
Mhm.
I can flip it and flip it again.
Mhm.
So when I flip it back, this is what it looks like. And now, if you want to, you can fold it over like an omelet would be. And you can fold it over and put it on your dish. But we actually like to have it flat. It's
Open
almost
face.
like
Yeah.
an open-faced omelet. And it almost looks like a little pizza too, so it's quite delicious. All right, so this is looking delicious. This is what it looks like.
We're put it on a plate.
Put it on a plate. We're gonna keep it flat to show you. So this is what it looks like. Delicious, delicious.
It's a mung bean omelet.
A mung bean omelet that tastes just like, looks and tastes just like egg. And yet it's so much healthier for your body and healthier for the planet.
Indeed.
You can put a little
Garnish
bit
on
of
top.
garnish on top.
Red there.
Red pepper.
Yep.
There we are. And there we are. A delicious eggless egg omelet made from mung beans. Thank you for joining us for Clean Green Eating.
Plant-based to feel great.
And we hope you have a delicious day.
Indeed.